Hi, it's Katrina. Have you ever fantasized about finding a lost treasure or even gone out and looked for it? From mysterious codes to crack leading to bars of gold to lost jewels, here are 9 treasures that can still be found. Number 9. The Fenn Treasure. Millionaire author and art collector Forrest Fenn was diagnosed with cancer and vowed to hide a treasure chest containing some of his most valuable possessions sometime before he died. Fenn survived and is now in his 80s. In 2010, he buried an antique lockbox full of goodies somewhere in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Fenn hopes that its discovery will bring excitement and fun to people, and he hopes that the search inspires people to enjoy and explore nature. He wrote a memoir called The Thrill of the Chase and a 24-line poem meant to lead treasure seekers to its location. He says the poem holds 9 clues that will lead people to the treasure. As of this year, around 350,000 people have searched, but nobody has found it yet. The treasure is rumored to be worth $3 million, but nobody knows what its contents truly consist of. Fenn's friend, who helped put the prize together, told Vice that it contains an assortment of jewels, rare objects, and many gold items, including coins, nuggets, ornaments, and jewelry. Fenn reportedly hopes to add his own remains to the hidden treasure after he passes away, making the discovery both eerie and bountiful for the lucky soul who finally finds it. No hospital bed for him. When he told people about this quest, he created a monster with people trying to sneak into his property and dig in his yard, his family graves, the neighbor's yard, everywhere. He receives hundreds of emails a day. In June 2019, the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office in Montana reminded the public to use extreme caution in looking for the treasure. Several people have died on their quest. Several have been rescued near death, and others have had run-ins with law enforcement. Sheriffs have asked Fenn to please call off the hunt since they spend hundreds of volunteer hours rescuing people looking for his treasure. But while Fenn is sorry for those people, he says practically all of the correspondence he gets is from people wanting to continue. Fenn briefly considered calling off the search after treasure hunter Paris Wallace's death in 2017, but he decided not to. He still wants people to have fun and enjoy nature, even with its risks. Number 8. The Treasure of Lima. After conquering the Incan Empire in the 16th century, the Spanish accumulated massive wealth, which they stored in Lima, Peru until 1820. That year, they moved the treasure out of the city in an effort to save it during a revolt. British Captain William Thompson was charged with the task of sailing around with the treasure aboard his ship, the Mary Dear, until the revolt ended. Instead, Thompson and his crew allegedly killed the Spanish guards and buried the treasure in a mysterious location. When the Spaniards caught up with the crew, they executed everyone except Captain Thompson and his first mate, who agreed to show them where they'd hidden the treasure. They led the Spanish to Coco Island, then fled into the jungle on foot. Nobody knows for sure what happened to the treasure after that, including whether Thompson and his first mate dug it up after they ran off. At the time, Spanish officials put the treasure's value at somewhere between $12 and $60 million. In today's money, it's worth an estimated $208 million. Included among the original contents were a life-sized, gem-encrusted gilded image of the Virgin Mary, 113 gold religious statues, 200 chests full of jewels, 1,000 diamonds, solid gold crowns, 273 swords with jeweled hilts, and hundreds of gold and silver bars, just to name a few things. And now for number 7. But first, would you go out and look for this treasure? Which one would you want to find the most? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Number 7. The Golden Owl. Known by the French name La Chouillette d'Or, or the Golden Owl, is supposedly hidden in the French countryside. It weighs 33 pounds, is made of solid gold and silver, and has a diamond-encrusted head. Someone going by the pseudonym Max Valentine hid the item in 1993 and promised 1 million francs to whoever finds it. To help treasure hunters pinpoint the Golden Owl's location, Valentine provided 11 clues. In a 1997 interview, he reassured treasure seekers that he periodically checked on the Golden Owl to see whether it had been found, and that it was still where he had left it. He found disturbed ground nearby, indicating that someone had come close. It's the only known time when someone nearly found the treasure. Now it has become the longest-running treasure hunt in the world. Valentine was admittedly surprised that nobody had found the Golden Owl. He thought someone would discover it within 2 or 3 years. In a 2008 radio interview with Saturday Live, he said, "I wonder how it hasn't been found. It's incredible." Treasure hunters are so eager to find the golden owl, they've resorted to extremes such as breaking concrete, burning down a chapel, and even offering 1,300,000 francs for additional clues, more than the promised prize itself. Valentin never provided extra clues, and he passed away in 2009, taking the golden owl's location to the grave with him. The location and prize are said to be in a sealed envelope in possession of his family. Not sure how much money that would be at this point, since francs are no longer relevant. In any case, you still would get the golden owl. And the honor of solving the longest-running treasure hunt. Number 6. The Legend of El Dorado. El Dorado is Spanish for the Golden One. Colombia's Lake Guatavita is recognized as the site of the El Dorado legend. According to the story, thousands of years ago, the newly appointed leader of the Muisca tribe covered himself in gold dust, traveled to the middle of the lake on a wooden raft, jumped in, and threw treasures into the water to honor the gods. Lake Guatavita is located a few hours north of Colombia's capital city, Bogotá. Since the Spanish arrived in 1536, actual gold has been retrieved from the lake, suggesting that there may be some truth to the ancient El Dorado tale. If there was gold in the lake, there must be even more gold nearby. In 1545, the Spaniards tried to drain Lake Guatavita using gourds, unsuccessfully, as I'm sure you can imagine. Although they only lowered the water level by 9.8 feet, or 3 meters, they did recover some gold, with a modern-day value totaling $100,000. Since then, numerous draining attempts have occurred at the lake. In 1580, a businessman from Bogotá cut a deep notch in the lake, which is still visible today, and lowered its level by 65.6 feet. The workers discovered roughly $400,000 worth of gold. Not sure if that was worth the cost of all that labor. In 1898, the lake's level was lowered to just 4 feet, but the mud at the bottom reportedly hardened over, encasing any treasure that might be there. While one estimate claimed that the lake might hold up to $300 million worth of gold, it seems unlikely, as just a few ornaments were found during this most recent search. Lake Guatavita has been protected since 1965. Even swimming is banned there per the Colombian government, but it remains a popular day trip site. The Gold Museum in Bogotá features several items that were found in Lake Guatavita, as well as a model of a wooden raft similar to that which the Muisca people would have created sometime between 1500 and 1200 BC. Number 5. Scepter of Daggerbeard. The Scepter of Daggerbeard was one of the French crown jewels. A scepter is an ornamented staff carried by rulers on ceremonial occasions. It dates back to the 7th century, measures 22 inches long, and is made of solid gold. It was made from 3 parts: the rod, a hand holding the world, and a statue on top, the latter of which is the oldest component. The scepter went missing in 1795 when an unknown thief stole it from the Basilica of Saint Denis, where it was being stored. Nobody has seen it since. It was named after the French king Dagobert I, whom master goldsmith Eloy de Noyon, better known as Saint Eligius, created it for. Dagobert I became the king of Austrasia, a northeastern territory of the Merovingian kingdom of the Franks, in 623. In 629, he became the king of all the Franks. His reign lasted until 634. Little else is known about the Scepter of Dagobert. Perhaps someone has it and is unaware of what it is, or its value. Number 4. The Florentine Diamond. The Florentine Diamond goes by several names, including the Tuscany Diamond, the Austrian Diamond, and the Austrian Yellow Diamond. It's light yellow with green overtones and is believed to be of Indian origin. However, only some drawings and a few black and white photos of the diamond are known to still exist, so even its dimensions are somewhat of a mystery. The stone is believed to weigh 137.27 carats and is reportedly irregularly cut with 9 sides. Tracing the diamond's ownership history is a little difficult. Legends go back to 1476, when Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy, wore it into the Battle of Murat and lost his life. A peasant or a foot soldier sold it for a mere 2 francs, thinking it was made of glass, and it subsequently changed hands for small amounts of money. But someone must have recognized its value, since at one point it fell under the ownership of Pope Julius II. In 1567, the famous French jeweler and traveler Jean-Baptiste Tavernier noticed the diamond among the treasures of Ferdinando II de' Medici, Grand Duke of Tuscany. When the last of the Medicis passed away, the jewel became the property of the Habsburgs. Charles I of Austria took the diamond into Switzerland with him when he was exiled after the fall of the Austrian Empire in World War I. Someone close to the imperial family stole it in 1918, along with other crown jewels, and took the hoard to South America. Rumor has it that someone then brought the gem into the United States where it was cut and resold, but this allegation remains unverified, as the diamond was never found. It's been on a lot of adventures. Number 3. The Beale Ciphers. In 1816, a man named Thomas Beale and some companions came across large amounts of gold and silver while mining in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. Way before Fenn's treasure, but maybe that's what inspired the location. A few years later, Beale traveled to Montvale, Virginia, and buried his share of the treasure, millions of dollars worth, in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Altogether, the hoard reportedly contains 2,921 pounds of gold, 5,100 pounds of silver, and an assembly of precious jewels totaling a modern-day value of $60 million. Many have attempted to find the treasure over the years, with one party even resorting to the assistance of a medium. But there's only one true way to find the goods: by solving some nearly 200-year-old ciphers that Beale wrote, which reportedly contain details about the treasure's specific location. Beale wrote 3 ciphers altogether, and so far only cipher number 2, which describes the treasure's specific contents, has been decoded. Each number in a cipher represents a letter of the alphabet and can be identified by numbering the letters in a key text. This is called a substitution cipher, and as long as the key exists, it's an easy way to encrypt a message. In the late 19th century, an anonymous cryptanalyst discovered that the Declaration of Independence is the key to cipher number 2, but the keys to Beale's 2 unsolved ciphers are unknown. According to journalist Ruth Daniloff, even a second grader could decode the ciphers if they had the key. Number 2. Leon Trabucos gold. Mexican businessman and millionaire Leon Trabuco arranged a series of mysterious flights to the New Mexico desert during the early 1930s. Popular place, huh? Rumor had it that he had conspired with his business partners to hide a vast amount of Mexico's gold reserves while waiting for the precious metal's price to soar, so they could sell it to the United States. Their alleged theory was that the devaluation of the dollar resulting from the Great Depression would cause gold prices to skyrocket, making the rich businessmen even richer. To accomplish their mission, they had to quietly smuggle the goods into the U.S. If they got caught, they faced lengthy prison sentences. Trabuco and his accomplices came up with 16 tons of gold, which they melted into ingots and flew into a remote, sparsely populated region of New Mexico between the Ute and Navajo reservations. Pilot Red Mosier reportedly made 16 flights total, carrying 1 ton of gold per flight. From there, pickup trucks transported the gold to a secret burial location. Trabuco never made a map of the gold's whereabouts, nor did he reveal the site to his co-conspirators. Just 6 months after they buried the treasure, the U.S. government implemented the Gold Act of 1934, increasing the value of their hoard by roughly $7 million overnight. But the men decided to wait until the price of gold went even higher, and in doing so, they missed their opportunity to sell it. Unbeknownst to them at the time, the Gold Act came with an executive order outlawing private gold ownership as of January 1934. Within 5 years of the Gold Act taking effect, 3 of the 5 businessmen died under bizarre, untimely circumstances. Trabuco was unable to illegally sell the gold and essentially had 16 tons worth of junk, which he apparently left at its burial place in the middle of the desert. Nobody has ever found the gold, and many believe that the entire story is a hoax, but others think it's still out there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Number 1. The Lost Treasure of Dutch Schultz. Dutch Schultz was a Prohibition-era gangster who died at the hands of a rival gang in a Newark, New Jersey tavern in 1935 during the Great Depression. In his final moments, Schultz uttered a statement about an alleged treasure his bodyguard Bernard Rosencrantz had buried in New York State's Catskill Mountains. Over the years, many have taken to the Catskills with their metal detectors in search of the rumored stash of gangster loot, but so far nobody has found anything of value. Moreover, details about the booty's location are both vague and contradictory, and the treasure is shrouded in conflicting legends. One tale holds that Rosencrantz buried $5 million worth of treasure in a metal box between 2 pine trees and marked a nearby tree with an X as a reminder of the location. Some stories claim that the treasure is in the form of cash, while others assert that the hoard contains jewels. Considering the abundance of foliage that exists in the Catskills, finding the treasure would literally be akin to finding a needle in a haystack. And although nobody knows if the story of the buried fortune is even true, or has a remote clue of where it is beyond the general area where it was buried, people continue to look for it. Thanks for watching! Do you think any of these treasures will ever be found? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later.